Greetings again, people. This is the Crunchy Fet, and today, as you can see by the image, I will be doing part 4 of What If Female Deku Was Tiamat. Now, if I remember, I just had to rewatch part 3, and where we last left off was at the end of the dorm competition. After the quirk assessment test. So, we'll be continuing from that point. Hold on, give me a minute. Sorry about that, I didn't realize my phone wasn't on charge. Anyway, so we'll be continuing forward to the heroes versus villains test. As, while they're at the end of the day, and waiting for their hero class to start, they hear thumping coming down the hallway. As they hear All Might yell, as All Might comes through the door saying, "I am here," coming through the door like a normal person. As people do get excited that All Might is there. As All Might then gives a speech and then presses a button to bring out their hero costumes. As everybody would get changed into their hero costumes. As I believe I added in Godzilla, but I had his name as Alexander, I believe, yeah. So this is what his hero costume looks like, as you can see here. And then this is what Izumi's hero costume is. As they all then begin to, as All Might then separates the teams, with Izumi going with Alexander for this match. As the match then begins, as Izumi would say that Bakugo will probably come for her first, so they'll need to be ready for that. As Izumi would then use another spell that she has on her quirk, as she'd use Pass Without a Trace. As Izumi and Alexander would move through the building, basically nearly undetected. As Bakugo keeps coming around corners thinking he'll get the jump on them, but he can't find them. As Izumi and Alexander would make it up to the room where the bomb was. As Ida is doing his whole villain speech thing. Sorry about that. As Izumi would then use Mage Hand to reach out to the bomb, as she'd end up touching it. As All Might would announce that the hero team has won. Sorry about that. As All Might would then ask who was the MVP of that match, as Momo would say that it was Izumi due to her being able to sneak around both Ida and Bakugo without either of them noticing. As All Might would announce, that is correct. A hero will need to take into account all their abilities and use them to their maximum potential. As everybody else's matches go as they do in canon, at the end of the day, Izumi and Alexander are talking about their quirks and saying that As Alexander would say that his body's dorsal plates also can conduct electricity. If he's struck by lightning, he can generate more power. As Izumi would say, well, that's actually quite impressive because one of my abilities is that lightning can come out of my mouth. As Alexander would say, that'd actually be pretty useful if the two of us were in a pinch. As Izumi would say, yeah, you're right, that would be pretty useful. And this, people, is what we call foreshadowing. Anyway, continuing forward. To the USJ incident with Izumi saying, at this point, Izumi and Alexander's friendship have gotten better, so they're actually like nearly close friends. As Sue would ask Izumi what her quirk is, as Izumi would say that her quirk is called Queen of Dragons. It basically allows her to use multiple abilities and use different type of dragon breath. So sometimes she can breathe fire, sometimes it can be lightning, sometimes it could be poisonous gas, sometimes it could be acid, and sometimes it could even be ice. So it'd say, well, I guess it would be bad. It'd be a bad idea if I decide to fight against you then, since my quirk is basically I'm a frog. Izumi would chuckle a little bit and she'd say, yeah, that would actually be a pretty bad matchup for you. Or a lot of people, actually. As they would then arrive at the USJ, where 13 then gives their whole speech on how quirks can be dangerous if not, and have the potential to kill somebody. As Kirishima would look down, as they'd say, wow, you guys even have fake villains as well? As Aizawa would then look down, as you'd then say, those aren't fake villains, those are real villains. 13 protect the children. As he would hold on. Sorry about that. As Aizawa would then go down to fight the villains, as everybody is warped to their respective areas, with Alexander, Izumi, and Sue warped to the water area. With Izumi then using levitate to stop herself from falling into the water, as Sue and Alexander were about to fall into the water, but Izumi uses Mage Hand, as she would then grab them both, as she would then get them to the yacht. As they then go over their quirks abilities, as Izumi, Sue, and Alexander had an idea. As Izumi and Alexander would stand on the rim of the yacht, as the villains would begin to laugh, and they'd say, oh, what are these kids going to do? Judging by how they look, they have very weak quirks. Let's get them. As Izumi, who is holding on to both Alexander and Sue, would use Time Stop, as time would stop for the three of them. As Izumi would then place down a lot of delayed blast balls, and then Alexander would use the atomic breath, which would freeze in the air, as it is currently hurtling towards the water. As Sue would then grab them both and then leap over them. Leap over the villains, as Izumi would then resume time with the delayed blast fireballs, then going off. And Alexander's atomic breath hitting the water, causing all the villains to be knocked unconscious. As they would then make it to the edge, where the voice crack, where Aizawa is being beaten down by the villains. As Shigaraki would then see them, as he would go to try and decay Su, which doesn't work because Aizawa was looking at him, as the Nomu would then slam his face into the ground like in canon, as Izumi would then use she'd use delayed blast fireball, as she would basically throw it as the Nomu would get into the way and block the explosion, as the Nomu was about to punch Izumi, as Alexander then used his atomic breath to send the Nomu back a bit, as Izumi would then use her fire breath on the Nomu, which would push it back a bit and causing it to burn. As Alexander would say, Izumi, I think now's a good time to do that. As Izumi would say, yes, of course, as she would then jump behind Alexander, as her horns would flash blue. Oh yeah, she's in her hero costume, sorry about that. As her horns would flash blue, as she would then fire the lightning at Alexander's dorsal plates, which would power him up, as his atomic breath is now twice as powerful, as the Nomu is completely disintegrated. With Shigaraki scratching his neck saying, no, 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 you cheated, you cheated, you cheated, you cheated, as he would dash towards them. As All Might and the rest of the pro heroes would arrive, and Shigaraki gets the same treatment that he did in canon. As just before Shigaraki and Kurogiri were about to escape, Izumi used banishment on them, but Shigaraki and Kurogiri go away before the spell could take effect. And that is where I'm going to leave this part off. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. And for those of you who made it to the end, would you guys like to see me do my own version of what if Deku was a dark elf? Which was an idea originally made by Ravenclaw What If. Anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time.